YouTube, what's going on? Flatbed Shy here, coming to you from Clyde, Texas. Hello, hit up to Lubbock, Texas tomorrow. But just wanted to pass along the information that I learned from one of my courses that I'm taking. It's basically some simple information that goes into three factors, essentially, is what it is, that goes into interest rates, risk, inflation, and patience parameter. Three factors. First factor is risk. Everyone knows what risk is. I mean, you may have a individual in your family that you know asks you to borrow money. You give them money, but you know as soon as you give them that money, you're not gonna see that money anymore. So those people are high risk. But from a financial institution standpoint, if they know that the individual is a high risk, they are less likely to lend that individual money. And if they do lend that individual money without a cosigner, you can expect a high interest rate on that because of that risk that they're taking on. And if they feel like that the risk is worth taking, they will take it. Okay? So you may get a cosigner or they may give it to you by yourself based on your risk level. But the higher risk, the lower the risk, the better it is. Second thing that comes into play is inflation. I've said it on a previous video. Rate of inflation is around 2 to 3% year, on an annual basis. So essentially, in order for a financial institute to actually give you a loan, it would probably need to at least give you a 3 or maybe even 4% interest rate. That way that they're staying in front of inflation, and that if they gave you $1,000, then they're gonna need, I don't know, $1,100 the following year just to stay in front of it, just to keep up or just to stay slightly in front of inflation. So essentially, sometimes if you get a higher interest rate, it may be because of some information that they've collected that the inflation level is a certain way. So with it being 2 to 3%, then a 2 to 3% interest rate, or maybe even 4 or higher, just depending, again, going back to your risk level, is what you should expect. The third is impatience parameter. That's essentially just how quickly do you need this money back that I lend. I mean, how quickly do I need the money back that I just lended you? I know a lot of car mortgages are 6 to 7 years. Some things are a lot sooner. So it just comes down to how quickly they need that money back. But I guarantee you, if you go to a bank or a loan officer or anything of that particular nature, and they tell you that, hey, we need this money back within a year, chances are that they have a low patience level and they need that money back so they can utilize that money somewhere else. But getting a vehicle or other things, they may have, a higher patience. So they'll lend you that money for 6 to 7 years because the interest rate that they add to that particular set amount of time makes it justifiable. So a lot of times also an institute, when they do lend you money, then they look at it basically just like companies from stock perspectives. Is this the best way to utilize a return on my investment? So to break it down is just say, okay, is it a good return on my investment if I have a child and I buy my child football equipment to go play football, or can I take that money and go buy a new dishwasher? Okay? I know it's kind of a sorry example, but it's an example nonetheless. Should I go buy football equipment for my child, let him go play football, let him practice or whatever like that, or do I need to go buy a new washing machine, dishwasher? So if a company feels like that they can get, if they only gonna hit you with a 4% return, and they feel like that, hey, I can get this money and I can go get a 15% return on my money, then they have a they have low patience. because they need that money back quickly to go over here to get this 15%. So sometimes they may not invest in that, but if they feel like, well, if I put my money over here, let's just say, again, just, going back to the example, if I put my money over here with my child to play sports, play football, it may not be as good of an investment as if I go buy the washing machine or the dishwasher, because I know that the dishwasher, it probably gonna last 9 to 10 years. Those football pads and stuff like that, the child gets bigger, they outgrow them. So again, if they feel like that lending you the money is the best return on their investment, they'll lend it to you at a favorable interest rate. The interest rates are not favorable to you unless you are a person that is lending the money. So just keep that in mind. Let somebody borrow some money, hit them with some interest, especially if it's over a period of time. If they need to borrow $100, they may not pay you back next year. Hey, hit them with some interest. The banks do it, so But anyway, that was just a quick little lesson. Reach one, teach one. Take this little information, pass it along. I got a ton of it, so I'm gonna, unleash it out. Again, it's Flatbed Shy. Hit the like button, subscribe, and again, if you have any questions, you can email me shyhorn@yahoo.com. I'm out. Y'all be blessed and have a good night.